Hi there, this is Cassie McCoy with the Master Teacher Project with Better Lesson. And today I just wanted to show you and my students about in-text citations and answer some questions that I know they'll have moving forward. We've been talking about sandwich quoting previously in the year, and we're currently working on pie structure. But today, students, you have this image in front of you, the art of sandwich quoting, which I know is dorky, but whatever. Basically, sandwich quoting should look a whole heck of a lot like the pie structure because it's really similar. Basically, for every time you want to incorporate a quote or a paraphrase or even a summary into your paper, you need to introduce it somehow. So there's some suggestions up here. So according to so-and-so argues that similarly, etc. After you introduce your quote or paraphrase or summary, you are going to put in that information. And remember that you really only want to have 9 to 10% of your paper in direct quotes. So wherever you can, paraphrase, summarize, cut down long quotes. Because even with a 10-page paper, that means that you just have one page, if you took them all out, just one page of direct quotes in there. So you don't want to load up your papers with direct quotes. Try to put them in your own words. I want to hear you, not the researchers all the time. After you put in your quote or paraphrase or summary, you're going to need to put in a page citation. We'll talk more about that. And then finally, you need to reflect or connect or show me, like, so what? What does that quote mean? How does that help you? Don't just dump in a quote or dump in an idea and then not connect it back to your thesis and topic sentence. That's what your job as a writer is. So use this graphic to help you with that. Some of the questions I know you'll have about quoting. Ideally, for your sources, you have an author name, page number, publication title, and article title. But probably, I know a lot of you are using online sources, probably you won't have all of that. So what do you do if you're missing a piece? You have options. If it has all the information first, you want to make sure that you put in the author's name and page number in every case. And you'll see in these examples, author's name, page number, author's name, page number, author's name, page number. It's always there. You can also include other information, so you don't always have to say according to Smith and then end with a page number. You could put in other information, but we always want to see the author's last name because that's what will show up first in the citation, and the page number. So if I was a reader, I could go back and look that up. So that's if you have everything. If you are missing a page number, you still have an author's name, a publication name, and an article name at minimum. Well, not really at minimum, but we'll get to that. If you have this information, pick two of them, but always make sure that the author's name is in there. And never duplicate. Like if I say according to Smith and then put in my quote, I don't want to put Smith here. That's redundant, and we know we don't like that. So pick two, but just make sure that author's last name is in there somewhere. Okay? If you do not have an author and you do not have a page number, your options are getting smaller. Always stick, in my advice, always stick with the same citation format at the end. So here I've chosen the article title. You can tell that because it's in parentheses. Magazine names are in italics, or quotations, excuse me. So here I've chosen the article title, and I'm going to use that always for my in-text citation. And I can alternate between just generally saying something like, hey, a new research study says, like maybe nobody cares, it's Time magazine. Or I can actually go and announce, hey, this is the magazine I got it from, but I still need to cite it. So you'll always have some type of introduction, even if it's general, and you will have an end parenthetical citation. Some things to remember. One, the quotation marks end before the parenthetical citations. Every one of these, if you have quotation marks backed up right against your parenthetical citation, these never include your citation. Two, every end of sentence punctuation mark goes after the parenthetical citation. So that period kind of hugs that citation and holds that whole thing together from introduction to citation. Everything you summarize, paraphrase, or direct quote You need to cite it in each sentence, and you should never, ever, ever have instances where you stack sentences that are cited. Not because you should just alternate citing things, but because if you're stacking sentences that are cited, you're not putting in that E part of pie structure, which is explaining how it connects to your thesis. And finally, remember that this is your research paper. I want to hear your voice and your ideas. You're pulling this stuff together for me. So I want to hear your words more than other people's. That's why you should lean toward paraphrasing and summarizing. That's also why you should really focus on making that a good E part of the pie structure. So good luck. If you have questions, let me know, but I think you'll do great.